Cimoooooooo! What's going on, guys? It's Cimo, and welcome to another episode of Throwback Thursday, a weekly series where we look at some broke-ass cards from the anime and apply them to the current meta. Now, this week's card is Card of Demise, and if you aren't familiar with this card whatsoever, which I don't think is possible if you watch the anime, I'll go ahead and let Kaiba explain what this card does.
I play the magic card, Card of Demise! This card marks the beginning of the end for you, Wheeler, because I draw 5 cards now! But in 5 turns, I lose my entire hand!
Okay, so we're just gonna get a free +4 for absolutely nothing. I mean, staying with the theme of just adding an absurd amount of cards to your hand, Card of Demise, you could argue, is even better than Card of Sanctity, because Card of Demise doesn't give your opponent cards, and there's really, no downside to it. I mean, granted, you only get 5 cards instead of 6, your opponent's not getting any, so that's arguably much better. And the whole downside of losing your whole hand after 5 turns, I don't think one time in the entire anime did the after effect of Card of Demise resolve. And I could be wrong, but even if it were to resolve, look at it this way, on your 5th turn, just set everything that you have in your hand, and then you're not going to lose anything anyway. And even if you were, the meta that we're currently in is very graveyard-based. I mean, you have Burning Abyss, you have Shaddolls, I mean, you have Clowns, you have all these different cards that trigger when they're sent to the graveyard by card effect. So, having a downside like that for Card of Demise, or I guess I should say a supposed downside, isn't even a downside. And let's be realistic, if you resolve this card, you should win. I mean, there's not even any question. If you can't win with an extra 5 cards, I don't know, there's something wrong, because that should just automatically give you everything that you need to completely shut out your opponent. You know, it's kind of a scary thought to see what Shaneburn would do with a card like this, because essentially they'll just set everything, throw this down, draw a whole new hand, and then on your turn, use everything they just set, and then on their turn again, they have a brand new hand. So it's not like they lost anything. And by that point, I think this card might actually make Shaneburn, somewhat meta, maybe tier 2 at best. But still, it's actually pretty viable. Now, I mean, you can also look at it too where you can only draw up to 5 cards. So it's not like you're drawing 5 free cards. You have to have no hand to be able to do it, to at least fully maximize the potential that this card has. So if you activate it and you still have 1 card in hand, you're only going to be drawing 4 cards. That's still 4 cards! I mean, don't get me wrong, that's still insane, but it's really not that difficult to empty out your hand before you abuse this card. And I mean, most of the time, when this card was used in the anime, Kaiba's just top-decking it like the king that he is. So, it's not even that big of a deal, because he's just oh, whatever, I have no cards, 5 free cards. You know, Card of Sanctity was at least kind of balanced in a sense, because both players got advantage from the card. I mean, you could manipulate it in such a way that you get more than your opponent does, but at least it, has some sort of equilibrium. Where this card just says, fuck you to your opponent, and it's just I'm gonna take 5 free cards whether you like it or not, and that's pretty much the end of it. So, it's funny to think that with how broken Card of Sanctity is, this card is worse. But at least we can all take solace in the fact that we're never gonna see this card printed in real life. Fuck. Let me know down in the comments what you guys all think about Card of Demise, and also be sure to leave what other cards you want to see in some upcoming episodes. So thank you all so much for watching the video, and we'll see you next time. Cimoooooooo!